Hi everyone! I have a lot going on, but for now, I'm just going to tell you what I read in the month of July. I have my little card going because that's how we roll these days. So let's begin. At the beginning of the month, I read A Psalm for the Wild Build by Becky Chambers. I gave this 5 blossoms. This is a monk and robot book, and I already have book 2 ready to go when I'm ready to read it. This has the cutest friend meet cute ever. We have Monk, who is a tea monk, and they have decided to go out in the world and try to help people making tea and sitting and listening to them talk about the things that are, bothering them, or maybe they're thinking about making a decision and they can't figure out which way to go. So he just lets them talk and kind of figure it out. And then we have Robot, where they've gone off to live all by themselves and they've left humanity, and humanity has just let them go. Now they're kind of curious how humanity's doing and if there's anything that humanity needs. These are some really good books. They really are. The next book that I picked up in July was To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. I think I told you in my last video that I read it. I gave it 5 blossoms. Christopher Paolini's writing has really grown since he wrote Aragon and the Inheritance series. I love dragons, but I really also liked this sci-fi as well. And he got a little Easter egg in here from that series. So if anybody else reads this that has read any of his other work, picks up on it, let me know down in the comments, because I can't be the only one who noticed it. I can't wait to read more books, especially in this world. You have a woman named Kira. She is a scientist. They're on a planet that they're getting ready to terraform, and her job and her team's job is to make sure that it is safe. Something happens as they're getting ready to leave, and they come into contact with an alien life form or something like it. And yeah, it doesn't go well. So whatever she had planned for her life isn't gonna happen. Last month, I mentioned that my most anticipated read was also my most anticipated 5-star prediction. And that was Darius by J.R.R. It was a little drop of a audiobook. Darius is a prequel to the Black Dagger Brotherhood and the Dark Lover novel, which starts the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. It was so cool to get more of a glimpse of who Darius was and the kind of dad that he was, and what it is that he kind of sacrificed to make sure that he could still keep his promise to Beth's mom. And it is about how they got together and what happened, and it is tragic, but it's also beautiful at the same time, and it all kind of comes full circle. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I then picked up Limitless Love, which is book 4 of The Lotus House. This is a series by Audrey Carlan. I gave it 4 blossoms. It was a little bit darker than the first 3 books. We have a single mom. She's a psychiatrist or psychologist or some sort of therapist, I think. Anyway, she does something in that world for mental health, and she's leaving work and she's attacked by her ex. This happens in the very beginning of the book, so this is not really that spoilery. Her best friends are taking care of her daughter while she's at work, and they rush to the hospital, leaving the daughter with a friend of theirs. And this particular friend had been helping those friends moving into Mo's house, and they were going to be roommates and stuff. And in the middle of helping his friends move in, their mutual friends, he took off as soon as he found out that she, this hot lady, was a mom. And there are reasons. He had his reasons, and those come to light a little bit later. But here he is, left with this little girl, and well, before the night is over, she has him wrapped right around her little finger. And I loved it. Every minute of it. So, yeah, if you like smexy time and you might like these books, just know that some of them go to some really darker places, because sometimes the characters are dealing with some stuff that they haven't dealt with yet. They also come to terms with some things. So there is some growth in as a character, and I like that in the books. And I loved this one because of the relationships that are happening in it, and it's just beautiful. It was just beautiful. I continued my foray into the Murderbot Diary series by Martha Wells. I continued with Rogue Protocol, which I gave 5 blossoms, and then Exit Strategy, which I gave 5 blossoms, and then I read the novella, which isn't from Murderbot's point of view. I gave that 4.75 blossoms. That was told from the perspective of the scientist that Murderbot kind of started feeling kind of attached to the team, because on her planet, robots and AI are thought of as being more like people and not machines, and she wanted to fight for his rights. And I think that it was nice to see a little bit more of what her thought process was once they got to her home. You know, I also follow Chronicles of Noria on her Patreon, and we are reading as a buddy read the sagas. I love this. So I read Saga 1, 2, and 3, and I loved every single one of these. I am enjoying my reread of these. My thoughts are not changing on these books at all as far as ratings go. I think we're probably going to have it finished by the end of August, and I'll talk a little bit more about it then. These are Brian K. Vaughan's, and Fiona Staples does the illustrations, and the illustrations are absolutely gorgeous. They're vivid and graphic, and by the way, this is very adult, not for kids, not for little kids. Just putting that out there. It's not for little kids. But if you're interested in sci-fi and a little bit of magic, and you're interested in a really good graphic novel series for adults, I recommend it. A few months ago, I read The Extraordinaries, which is the first book in a trilogy by T.J. Klune, and I absolutely fell in love with the characters and fell in love with the main character, Nick. He's just so funny. And I love the way his little brain works. I love his relationship with his dad. This trilogy goes to some really interesting places. It deals with being part of the LGBTQ plus world. It deals with loss of a parent, and it was just really good. And I read Flash Fire, and then I read Heat Wave. I gave both of them 5 blossoms. And I love the relationship between Nick and his dad, and those hilarious, really awkward moments where dad is trying to teach him about safe sex, and you think that they can't get any more awkward than awkward, but they do. And I've caught myself laughing out loud so much during those scenes. I lived for every scene. I ate them up. I could not put the books down. I cannot wait to read more books by T.J. Klune. I love his writing style. I enjoy his characters. I'm just looking forward to picking up the next book. I don't know what that's going to be yet. I'll figure it out later. Noria also does a readathon every July called the Fuckathon. She chooses a bunch of prompts. Usually it's a month long. This time she chose one prompt. She made it a weekend long. It was very chill, very non-stressful. I found out what book she was going to be reading. She shared that with everyone, and I looked on my list because it sounded really familiar, and there it was on my list of books to read before the end of the year. So I said, it's the perfect book. I'm going to read it too. She said, yay, we could, maybe talk about it a little bit together. Neither one of us could put it down. We were enjoying it so much. And it was The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. It's the first book I've ever read by this author, and I really enjoyed it. It's a retelling of 1001 Nights. I love Arabian Nights stuff. I love retellings in that world, and I had so much fun reading them. This is book 1 in the duology. There are some short stories. I read book 1. I finished it in less than 24 hours. I had so much fun reading it with Noria, and we both agreed that the descriptions of the food sounded really good. I want to sit somewhere with plush pillows, and I want to immerse myself in that world. I want to experience those things that they kept describing. Also, the clothes. The clothes sounded amazing. The fabrics. And I love the side character. Oh crap, I can't remember her name. Anyways, I'm going to be reading book 2 very soon. I gave it 4.5 blossoms. It was fun to read, and I really liked it. On July 31st, I decided to treat myself. I came across a rare recording of J.R.R. Tolkien on the Cloud Library. So it was a live recording of J.R.R. Tolkien reading some of his poems. It was so much fun to listen to him read The Adventures of Tom Bombadil, The Hoard, Perry the Winkle, and The Man in the Moon Came Down Too Soon. I had so much fun listening to Tolkien read these poems, and I wish all of his books had been narrated by him. I would want to own a copy of all those recordings. That would be amazing. But I'll settle for the books. So I've started deciding what books I'm going to be curating for my own library. I gave it 4.75 blossoms. There was a song at the end sung by somebody, and it's just not my thing. But other than that, it was a really good, it was a nice little treat for me. That was it. I read 15 books in the month of July. I had the best time. I cannot wait to read some more books and talk about those. I'm having a great month so far in August, and I can't wait to share that with you. You guys, I almost forgot to share with you my birthday presents, my bookish birthday presents. Not all my birthday presents, but my bookish ones. So my sister got me The Witcher because she knows I like the show, but I also really like to listen to the books. So maybe I'll be listening to an audio and doing this puzzle on cold days this winter. Yep. Also, I got a package from my best friend. She lives in Ohio now, and I miss her so freaking much. She sent me these really amazing brush pens that I've already started using in my bullet journal, which that's why I had them on my wish list. She really went to town, man. And then the next thing I knew, it was squishy and soft. And look, yes, that's right, it's a map. Do you want to know what it's a map of? She got me a throw blanket. A map of Middle Earth. Look at the colors. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, it's so soft. It's so soft. On those cold days, I'm going to be reading some Tolkien. That's part of my winter plans. Yeah. I'll be reading about Mordor and other things. And oh my god, this is so fucking soft. Oh my god, it's so soft. Oh my god, it's so freaking soft. Thank you, Tracy. You're the bestest. If you want to see more of my face, like, share, subscribe, comment, leave me a little heart emoji or a genie down below in the comments. Until next time, happy reading, everybody. I continued my four-way. God, that sounds really bad. The Adventures of Tom Bombadil.